What's up, freedom lovers? BZWATCHDOG back at it again. Because apparently, standing on a public sidewalk with a camera while black is now considered a high-level threat. Today we're diving into another absurd, head-shaking, this can't be real life situation involving my good friend and fellow auditor, Kansas City Accountability. Picture this. You're minding your business, documenting public officials as you have every constitutional right to do. But wait, plot twist. You're suddenly labeled a trespassing peeping Tom for filming from the sidewalk because, sidewalks are super suspicious nowadays, especially if you're holding a camera and you're black. Yes, folks, Kansas City Accountability was arrested again, this time by Des Moines PD officers Ralph, badge 5338 Neary, and Chase, badge 5340 Williams, who apparently skipped Constitution Day at the police academy. And let's not forget officers David Temple and Alan Kent proudly parading around town after like they've captured public enemy number one. Honestly, I'd laugh if it weren't so disturbing. But here's where it gets juicy. After this outrageous arrest, I decided enough was enough. Your boy BZWATCHDOG wasn't about to let this slide without holding someone accountable. So what did I do? I picked up the phone and called the city officials myself. Spoiler alert, the conversation was exactly as professional and enlightening as you'd imagine. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, and maybe a stress ball or two, because you're about to witness exactly how deep the rabbit hole of city corruption and ignorance goes. This isn't just an unlawful arrest, it's a full-blown circus. And today, we're pulling back the curtain. Let's get into it.
And here we go. We got Des Moines in the house.
Yeah, I got some. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, this gentleman in the red, he's just been walking around the building, putting his camera up to the window, taking pictures and video, I would assume, on the inside of the bank. He stood up front for a number of minutes. He's probably been here 20, 25 minutes. I don't know if he's one of these social media, trying to do some, I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
And I talked to him briefly and just said, hey, this is suspicious. I'm going to pass it on to our head of security. I took his picture. So,
Would you like him trespassed?
I don't know. He's stuck to the sidewalk, so I think that's public property.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the game.
If you're going inside and you're...
He didn't come inside, but I mean, he was...
When did he ask about the vault?
I stepped out, I opened the front door, and I said, hey, this is suspicious. I'm going to report you to our head of security. And he asked me for, the blueprints, asked me where the vault was located.
Okay.
And I'm like,
yeah,
and I just shut the door.
He's trying to videotape inside of your bank, correct?
I mean, I got that impression, because you want to come in for a second?
I want to stay here so I can talk to you.
So there's a window on the side, and he was, right up to it, taking pictures of, our employees and stuff. So, I mean, I think, yeah.
We'll still trespass him from the property and just kind of advise him that it's not okay to film inside people's properties.
Appreciate it.
Because this is all, is the area that he's filming, is that publicly accessible, or is that a private area that he's trying to film into?
I mean, both of our doors are locked and we have to bust people in.
Okay.
So everywhere he's filming right now is locked down until we let people in, so it is private.
We'll do that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
What's up, man?
What you mean? You got gloves on.
Been putting my gloves on the whole day.
The whole day?
Yep.
Are you sick?
No, I'm not sick.
You're not sick? Huh?
You got your mess on.
Cause I knew I would run into someone
There you go.
that was sick, and COVID is coming back around.
No, I did not.
You don't believe that?
Nope, I don't believe that.
Okay.
How you been doing today?
I'm okay, man. A beautiful day.
Beautiful
I think spring is finally here.
Sun is out.
I think spring is
For weeks we've been waiting for it.
because and if you live in the Midwest, the weather is bipolar. You can get all four in the same week. I don't see you with I can barely see. You mind stepping over here so I can see you?
Stand over here.
I mean, because I can't see your name tag.
Oh, near here.
That's what I'm trying to do. The sun is beaming, so I couldn't catch it. Where's your name tag, sir?
Near.
They don't make you wear a name tag?
It probably fell off my car.
Okay, so I said they don't make you wear a name tag. I can make them get you one. Yeah, okay, I appreciate you. That's all I was trying to get from you, man. The sun, when I'm looking at you this way, the sun is not giving you a good angle.
You know what's going on today? Why we got called out here?
I was just out here recording.
Oh, recording.
And so I mean, I came up to.
That's why I'm kind of curious. Like, you have your camera out, maybe you know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because they call more guys with cameras. Your camera on?
Yep.
Okay.
Been on the whole time since we got here.
Okay. Yeah, I was just recording right here. They always running around, so I was like, I kept recording them since they running around like chickens. I went around front. The guy told me that he took a picture of me. Nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah.
So he told me he's going to send it to his security. I told him nothing's wrong with that. That's fine.
Hey, buddy. Were you filming inside the bank?
Say that one more time.
Were you trying to film inside the bank?
I was filming inside I wasn't in the bank, but I was on the outside in public, filming in the bank from outside. Yeah, I was doing that.
So, like, what you're doing is you're filming inside private areas of their property. You can't do that.
You can't do that?
Correct. Right? So, like, if I go up to your window at your house
and
I zoom in with the camera, doesn't that seem like there'd be some sort of
if you come into my window, that means you on my property.
Right.
And I would have an issue with that.
Right. So, like I said, if you're coming up to the window and you're actually physically trying to videotape inside somebody's house or property in this case.
So come here real quick. You telling me I can't do this?
Yeah, we're trying to go like a peeping Tom trespass. So I'm trying to tell you not to do
a peeping Tom trespass.
Yes.
How long have you been an officer?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Okay. How long are you guys considered a greenie?
That's not a thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna advise you to trespass from this place, okay? And also advise that you not film inside a private property again. Okay?
Do you understand I'm on public property?
You're also
public.
Yeah, you're okay to be here when you start videotaping inside of where it is a private place that you're not supposed to be. That comes a little different, right?
What is it? Please educate me.
That would be like a peeping Tom trespass.
A peeping Tom trespass.
Yes.
I didn't know you can turn a constitutional protected activity into a crime.
Right.
You have your ID with you, partner?
Can we get like a captain out here, please?
I'll just take your
a supervisor, please.
Nope, I'm gonna take your information.
You said no, and that's your policy to get a supervisor.
No, okay, like we're asking you for your ID. We need your ID right now. We have to identify you.
For what crime?
I'm going to advise you to trespass from this property.
My partner just literally told you 2 seconds ago.
We're advising you of.
But I've never been on their property.
Okay. Can I please get your identification, sir?
Can we please get a supervisor out here? I just don't need anybody to do anything.
Is there
or
anything I could say to get you to give me your information?
If you get a supervisor here, please,
not have my
because
supervisor come on
I don't need you guys to make any mistakes or do anything wrong. I'm actually out here.
We're asking you for a simple stuff, man. Just your ID, your name.
Did I commit a crime?
Like I said, it's that trespass where you can't videotape inside of a private area, okay?
What do you know about the plain view doctrine? Anything you see from public, you can record? I'm on a public sidewalk.
People are saying you're coming up to the window, right?
I'm right here on the public sidewalk, officer. You are officer.
Get your identification, sir.
Can we get a supervisor out here, please?
I'm going to detain you real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get that recorded.
Okay, get a supervisor.
Supervisor out here, please. Detain you real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get that recorded.
Yep, get a supervisor. I charge $2,000.
So I'm going to detain you real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get that.
Yep, get a supervisor. I charge $2,000 a minute for an illegal detainment.
Yep. So like I said, we have reasonable suspicion anyway.
Okay. Let me get a supervisor out here, please. Thank you. Okay. I charge $2,000 a minute for an illegal detainment.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take this from you real quick.
No, that's mine. You can't turn that off, sir.
No, we're not going to turn it off. We're not going to turn it off.
But why can't I just hold it? Why did you take that from me?
Okay.
So, real quick.
Don't take me onto their property now. Now you're taking me on their property. I wasn't on their property.
We're with you, okay.
Get your supervisor here.
Okay. So, real quick, buddy, I just need your information.
I'm making a huge mistake. Get your supervisor, and I charge $2,000 a minute for an illegal detainment.
Do you have an ID on
I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent until we get your supervisor, your chief here. I do not agree to no searches or
No, I'm just
seizures.
asking for. I'm looking for your ID. Okay?
No, you can't search me, sir.
Okay.
You're refusing. Give me your ID.
I'm not that smart.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna see when your captain your chief get down here. That I asked several times and you refused.
All I need is your identification,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
and I would
That's
cut
all.
you loose.
Okay.
Let's get your supervisor down here.
No ID on you at all. That's not it.
Those are officers that knew how to do their job.
No, here you go.
You're searching me.
Well, I'm asking, looking for an ID, right?
You can't do
You-
that.
you've
No, I'm looking for an
But
ID.
you
Okay.
can't, but you
You're
can't do
refusing
that.
me to give your ID.
You've interfered with
but
official
you
acts
can't do that.
by not giving me your identification.
I don't have to
right?
do that, sir. Let's get your
Yep.
your supervisor. I asked for that before you made a
No
mistake.
ID.
I said I don't want you to make no
All right,
mistake.
walk over here,
Can we get your supervisor here? Okay, y'all.
You lock it.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I refuse to get a supervisor here.
What's your address?
Oh!
Yeah.
You guys are in trouble.
Des Moines Police Communications. Do you need police or mental health services?
I need somebody in administration, like a lieutenant, between a lieutenant and a chief. So lieutenant and
Between
captain.
a lieutenant and a chief.
Yeah.
Can you be more specific?
Anybody with brass. Lieutenant, captain, major.
Okay, over what section though? What's going on?
I mean, unless you got a public information officer I can talk to.
Okay, what is going on? And that will help me direct you to where you need to go.
Okay. I really don't want to get into it with you. I want to get into it with somebody with the brass or a public information officer.
Okay. Well, see, that's the issue. Is I need to know a little bit of what's going on to know who to give you to. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you to the correct person, and that's probably not going to benefit you.
It has to do with an officer, a complaint on an officer.
If you'd like to make a complaint, I can give you to the Office of Professional Standards.
Ma'am, that's not what I'm asking. That's why I'm asking for you to just transfer me instead of trying to interrogate me on the phone.
Well, first of all, I'm not interrogating you. My job is a dispatcher, and it's to ask questions to direct you to the correct person who can help you. So then you said, I'd like to make a complaint on an officer.
No, that's not what I said. I said I'd like to talk to somebody about a complaint on an officer. I never said I wanted to make a complaint.
Oh, my mistake. You want to talk to someone in relation to a complaint on an officer.
There you go.
That would be the Office of Professional Standards.
Okay.
They deal with talking to and filing complaints on officers.
Well, it's also, ma'am, I'm a journalist. I'm trying to work on a news story. How about you give me your public information officer and we'll call it a day? How about that? You just
I
leave
don't
it at
transfer
that.
to the public information officer if it's about a complaint on an officer, especially from journalists.
Okay, I'm following up on a
Would you like
story.
to talk to?
Can I get a different
Okay.
dispatcher or something? Because it's obviously not working between you and
let
I.
me have you. Yeah, it's not working for you as well. Let me have you talk to my supervisor. 1 moment. This is Katie. How can I help you?
Yeah, Katie. First off, and like I said, I got nothing. I got nothing against anybody, but I don't know what that lady's deal is. But I literally just asked to be transferred to public information officer or somebody with brass regarding an officer. And I mean, she's wanting to get into details and she wants to be argumentative. I don't want to go to professional standards. I'm trying to follow up on a story, because I have a feeling there's going to be multiple complaints about this officer on a video that I obtained. I'm looking to get some questions or comments from your agency. That's why I was asking for the public information officer, whether it be a sergeant, a lieutenant.
I'll transfer you to his phone.
Thank you, ma'am.
You've reached the media office for the Des Moines, Iowa Police Department. Please leave your name, number, and a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
City of Des Moines Clerk's office.
Yes, I'm trying to get a hold of the city manager, Scott Sanders, or somebody regarding a situation about a video that's going to be linked. It's going to be leaked out to the public in about 2 hours from now.
I believe Scott may be in a meeting, but I can try to get you over to their office to see if his assistant is in. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I just tried their office and it rolled back over to us. I'm going to try his assistant directly, okay? City of Des Moines City Manager's Office. This is Joyce. How may I help you?
I'm sorry, you spoke so quiet. Did you say your name was Joy?
Yes.
Joy, my name's Basil Zangari. I'm a investigative journalist. I was trying to reach out to Scott Sanders. Obviously, he's in a meeting according to the young lady that just transferred the call, and so she said that he's going to transfer to his assistant, which is fine. I'm trying to reach out to the police department. The dispatcher was kind of rude. I kind of got a hold of the supervisor. She transferred me to the public information officer, who's not answering his phone. I left my information for a callback. I haven't received anything. The video that I've seen that's going to be leaked in about 2 hours is going to be a PR nightmare for the city of Des Moines. And right now, I'm just trying to find out what, if it's the same video you're talking about, what, at this point, then it's a follow-up. What actions have been taken? If there's been an investigation, what was the outcome of that investigation? What do you guys plan on doing going further? What about training? What about someone looking into the police about maybe rewriting some policies? But I can't seem to get anybody on the phone, Joyce, other than you. You've been really, polite and open to listening to me. And I'm, like I said, I've got a lot of questions. It's just, based on this video, I have a lot of questions. And I want to know if it's an isolated incident or if this is an ongoing practice in Des Moines.
Well, I've only heard of the one, but that doesn't mean, that I know everything, because I don't.
That's why I was mentioning, like I said, when I called the dispatchers, okay, I asked for a lieutenant, a captain, a major, the chief, anybody in brass, or the PIO officer. Now, I didn't know the PIO officer was a sergeant at the time. But I don't want to talk to a sergeant in internal affairs. I really don't want to. I'm not. This didn't happen to me. I'm not looking to file a complaint. I did have some questions about filing a complaint, like the process and things like that, and maybe some policies. And who knows? Maybe I have to talk to 4 different people in 4 different divisions just to get my answers questioned. But that's why I asked for a PIO officer. And like I said, the girl on the phone was so argumentative. I didn't even get a voicemail transfer to the PIO officer. It took her supervisor, Katie, because I don't even know who the girl's name was. I just know that Katie, the supervisor, because she answered professionally. I told her briefly that I was just looking to talk to someone in brass or a PIO officer. She said, "Let me transfer you." End of story. That was it. Done. I got a voicemail, left a voicemail, and I told him to call me back. I still haven't heard anything back. But how hard was it for that first dispatcher to do what the supervisor did?
Right.
I mean, why fight and make a deal about it when it was over nothing?
Right. Did you also, when you looked and found on their page, the organizational chart, did you see the link to their department policies? I did, and I was reviewing the one under Chapter 31 about recording on a sidewalk. So it looks like that every policy in Title 3 under that, Section A all the way down to E, 1, 2, and 1 before it gets to 3, were all violated. The policies were all violated. Now I do know that not having, if it is going to be like, okay, so, but I also know the law states too that without reasonable articulable suspicion of a specific crime or probable cause, which is usually something the officer sees or has evidence of, you can't just arrest somebody. I mean, I'm finding out that this gentleman was bonded out on a bogus charge, and then his case was just recently dismissed. So I don't know if that's the same individual that you're referring to, but do we just do we have officers in Des Moines that are either racist or just going around and just unchecked, unlawfully arresting people just because they feel like it? Or, I mean, that's what I'm trying to find out. I mean, you know, and if that's not the case, then what has happened with this officer? If this is violating your policies, from what I'm seeing now that I'm online looking at your policy, dated back on 3/29 of 21, by I guess former Chief Dana Wingert, because I don't think Chief Dana Wingert is the chief anymore, correct?
That's correct. He's retired.
Okay. So if these policies are put in place and the officer basically violated all of this, and on top of that a Fourth Amendment right, where are we at with this officer? I mean, has the police department conducted an investigation and found no wrongdoing, or which is usually what I run into, because no one ever wants to be transparent or hold their officers accountable. The cities always want to sit here and deflect, and the chief of police usually always wants to cover stuff up. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened in Des Moines, because I'm still asking the questions. I'm still trying to find out, is this a common practice? If not a common practice, I mean, because I'm being a little facetious here because I'm looking at the policy now. Obviously, it's a big time policy violation and somebody's civil rights violated. Not to mention it's official oppression, and I'm sure there's a state statute you guys have. I know there's a federal law for it. I mean, that's a federal crime that the officer committed. But I want to know, what is the follow up? What is happening to this officer, if anything? And if and then if they're not going to do anything, what's the chief got to say? Why is he covering it up? And if he's not covering it up, and nothing's happening to the officer, what is the city doing about it? These are questions I want answered. I want to know. If you guys are going to do something about it, great. If tell me what your plans are. And, if it's an investigation and you guys are going to do this and you're going to yada yada yada, total normal spiel, that's fine. I can sit and wait and do a follow-up piece later on your investigation. If the city's going to hold the chief or hold the officer accountable, then great. I'd like to know when that took place, if it has taken place. I have the officer's name. I mean, it was Officer Chase Williams who did it, and Officer Ralph Neary backed him up, and both officers should be terminated. I mean, that's just my opinion, but again, I don't know if there's been an investigation launched. I don't know what the outcome of that investigation, if it has been launched. Obviously, you guys are talking about a video. We may be talking about the same video. We may not be. Question is what is your office doing about the video?
Right.
These are.
And I do understand everything that you're saying. It's looking more and more like we need to have you talk to Paul Parisic first in the police department.
Okay.
PIO office. Because a lot of those questions can only be answered by him.
Right, but you see how I have a lot of questions that I don't have any answers to. And
absolutely, yes.
And I don't even know if you guys have the answers to that. I mean, you're referring me to a PIO, which means that somebody has talked to the city attorney, and the city attorney has advised only XYZ can be made. That's why early on in our conversation I asked about a press release, because again, I don't even know if you guys have seen this video or if it's a separate video or like I said, I don't know. I'm asking the questions. I got to find out. My job as a journalist is to make sure I exhaust all sources and try to piece together all the facts to put my story out. I mean, I can do a one-sided. It ain't gonna make you guys look good. But that's not what I'm about. I
appreciate that.
I'm about facts and the truth.
Involved a reporter with the Kansas City accountability.
Okay. Is that do you have a press release or is that the Reddit? Is that the Reddit video?
I'm looking at his video following the arrest. His YouTube.
Okay.
It was Officer Williams and Officer Neary.
Yep, Ralph Neary and Chase Williams.
Uh-huh. And it says Karen calls the police for recording in public.
So this is
I'm not sure who Karen is either.
Karen is usually often addressed as someone who freaks out.
That's what I thought. She's a Karen, that kind of thing. Like somebody who just a reference to a person and the way they act.
And you said that's the name of the video that you're looking at?
I just put in arrested recording on sidewalk, Des Moines, Iowa.
Uh-huh.
And it came up. So it said, arrested recording on sidewalk, Des Moines, Iowa, YouTube. And it's from April 28th, 2025.
So that's about 2 months ago. Well, I'm pretty sure that might be the same video. So do you guys not? I mean, now that we know that that's about 2 months ago, I don't.
And this one is like an after. This is him talking after he was released.
Let's see.
He's being interviewed by someone, and then it shows the actual arrest and that, and it's
what's it called again?
Arrested
in Des Moines, Iowa.
Where it shows the police pulling up, and he's on the sidewalk recording them.
Is KCCI, is that news like in your guys?
That's not the one I'm looking at, but I'm sure they did a report on it.
No, so that is your area, because I'm looking at another video from 5 years ago that says man sues police after being stopped for filming on sidewalk. So it sounds like you guys have a problem with cops targeting people for recording.
No, it's probably the very same one,
from
but
5
it
years
just was
ago?
brought up again.
No, that's not the same video. This is something completely different from 5 years ago. Man, KCCI has a man sues police after being stopped for filming on sidewalk. And this is 5 years ago, where Daniel Robbins, it was a white guy. I guess he was filming on a sidewalk. I don't know if he was filming police or whatever, but so there's police prevent attempt to leave recording device. And so 1 year ago, there's another one about filming in Iowa. It seems like you guys don't like cameras up there. 2 years ago, Des Moines settles police recording lawsuit for $125. You guys have a serious problem with recording up there. Maybe I need to come up there. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of crime in Des Moines, but I think recording on a public sidewalk is the least of anybody's worries, unless you got rogue cops doing bad things that don't want a camera filming them.
I do understand both sides of this, though, too. If it were me, as an individual, being recorded, as a female, being recorded by somebody that I don't know, and he's acting, out, just standing out there and recording me for no reason, it making me feel uncomfortable. I mean, that's something I would definitely not appreciate and would feel very threatened by.
But isn't you being uncomfortable a you problem and not a person not committing a crime problem?
What is he going to do with that video? It's kind of...
You're in public. I mean, if you don't want to be on camera, don't leave the house. It's the only place that you have expectation of privacy besides a bathroom or a private facility. I mean, if you're on the sidewalk at a business and you've got this big glass bowl with glass where people can walk by and see, I mean, if I can see it, if I'm sitting there staring at you with my eyes, would that make you uncomfortable too if I didn't have a camera, or is it just the camera?
It's an unknown, I guess, that if not knowing the purpose for that videotape.
Let me ask you a simple solution to the uncomfortableness.
I can kind of see both sides of it.
Well, wouldn't the best side of it is if you really felt that uncomfortable about someone doing something that they're allowed to do, have the right to do on the sidewalk. I mean, they're walking down the road. If they stop, I'm sure tourists do it all the time. You know, they don't know they don't know what is legal or not, but somebody here exercising their rights to do that. Wouldn't it be just the simplest thing is just to go close the blinds or draw the shades so you don't feel uncomfortable? I mean, because that sounds like if you're uncomfortable. Now, I can understand if someone's, if someone had come into a business and you ask them to leave.
I'm walking out of my place of business.
Again, you're walking into public.
I'm done working and I'm walking out, and somebody decides to turn their video camera on me.
Okay.
For no reason.
Well, how do you know?
I mean, they don't talk to me. They don't say anything to me. They just, they suddenly decide that they're going to stop me. I mean, that would first thing that would come to my mind.
That sounds like you have a fear problem, though, because the thing is, what about the dash cams that are going down that capture you on video that you don't pay attention to? The Teslas that go by and catch you, the Google Street View car, the satellite cameras, the street cameras, the people walking by with cameras that may catch you on camera. You're on camera the minute you leave the home. You're ring doorbells. You're on camera all day long, every day, including probably in that business by the owner. You don't know what people are going to do with those videos. I can get access to any public video. All I got to do is do a records request. So my question to that is, again, what does your uncomfortableness have to do with that individual recording? That's a you problem. That's not an anybody else problem.
Well, it probably is, but it's somebody purposely doing it.
What? How do you even know the person's recording? What if they're just holding the camera? I mean, what if they're actually FaceTiming with somebody, and you just have that instant fear that they're aiming the camera when they're actually not? Again, that comes back to a you problem. That doesn't come back to a them problem. And that's the problem, is the government has instilled so much fear and uncomfortableness in everybody that anytime we get our feelings involved, we call the police. They're law enforcement, not feelings enforcement. I run into this. I run into this. I think more people that have uncomfortable things when they call 911 and get police out there, armed men with more cameras, by the way. You realize that you call the police, you got more cameras.
Oh, yeah, they got body cameras.
Yes, yeah. And then they also go into more places that we probably won't go into as regular people walking on a sidewalk because we know it's a place of business, where the cops are going to go in and record the entire conversation because it's public record. I get body cam footage all the time, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you are uncomfortable about someone holding a camera from 20, 30, 40 feet away because they're filming you leave a business, because that's what you think, you don't know for sure, you call the police, they show up, now you've got more cameras and a full conversation recorded about how this is where a Karen gets involved. Somebody feeling uncomfortable about a camera and calling the police is definitely a prime example of what today's typical Karen is. Have you ever thought about, if you feel uncomfortable, maybe go ask? You're going to be on camera more, but you can also create privacy. Throw a hat on, throw a scarf, put some sunglasses on, put a face mask on. We all did it during COVID. We all had face masks on. It's if you want to create privacy, you got to do that yourself. When the minute you leave your home, there is no expectation of privacy. And when that happens, people cannot utilize uneducated police who took an oath to respect someone's rights and don't take that oath serious and start arresting people. it's crazy. If someone's filming me, great. I'm just going to keep on walking. The last thing I'm going to do is make it obvious because I call the police. Now I'm going to be on camera more. I go and confront the person. I'm going to be on camera more, and I'm probably going to look like a dummy. I don't want to look dumb on camera. And I don't want to be on camera. Then I'm going to make sure I make sure my face is covered, or I turn my back, or I know that when I go in public, I've got millions of in fact, I probably got facial recognition hitting me. I didn't agree to that. I didn't consent to that. I feel that's a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. But guess what? I'm out in public. I got to get over it. I mean, they just. I mean, and how's it? People call it a safety and security factor. How is it going to make you feel safe? How is it going to be secure? If someone's not in your face, it's not harassment. I'm sure you've seen the Hollywood people with paparazzis in Hollywood, following all the celebrities around and, getting close and filming. I mean, if I was that person, heck yes, I would feel uncomfortable. But I also know, the minute I go into public, I'm going to have to deal with it. The best way to cover it up, cover my face up. That way, you're not getting the image, and I'm going to try to get from point B to point A to point C as quickly as I can because I don't want to be on the camera. It's just people have to get over their feelings. I don't know what has happened to Americans over the last 30 years, but it seems like everybody's got their feelings involved. And that's probably why we're involved in all the damn conflicts around the world, because we allow our feelings to get involved. I mean, I'm an American. I served in the military. I've got a backbone. I don't let things get to me that easy. If I don't like it, I deal with it. Sometimes I may not deal with it the way a normal person probably should. I might sometimes overreact, but that's a me problem. That's not a somebody else problem.
BZWATCHDOG.